Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Blank Slate Minicast. This is episode 2, and I just want to say first and foremost, thank you to anyone who listened to episode 1. Really meant a lot to me, and I'm glad to see that what I spoke about resonated with a lot of you. I had a feeling that it would, but it's always nice to kind of have that reassurance. So, in today's episode, we are going to be talking about showing up. And what I mean by that is showing up as your authentic self and the fears and the worry and the steps you can take. I kind of felt like it would be a good transition from the first episode where I kind of gave a bit of a background of why I started this, but also spoke heavily about just I don't know really like where I am in my life right now. I'm kind of in this very blank slate period, hence the name of the podcast, but also realizing that maybe I haven't been showing up as authentically as I can because I didn't really know, but most I was scared of what other people would think of almost this, and this might sound silly, but like my own power, my own true self, and what that would mean to put it out into the internet and let everyone judge you. So, 3 years ago, when I started this YouTube channel, I did have a conversation with myself of, am I going to be, Amelia, or am I going to put on some sort of character? As some people do. So if they get criticized, it's the character getting criticized and not necessarily them. But look, I am not an actress. I don't really have acting skills, nor do I really have like the energy almost to keep up a character or a persona. I always just wanted to like be myself. And I, over the past 3 years, I think I have done that. The first step was obviously getting comfortable on camera and finding more ways to relate to an audience that's not necessarily right in front of you, but able to facilitate conversations. And look, I'm still learning, but if you look at those first few videos, I would like to say that I have made leaps and bounds since there. And, this next kind of era that I am going into on my YouTube channel, I think I'll talk about it later, but I think kind of emphasizes that. But so I made the decision of like, okay, it's just going to be Amelia and it is what it is. And some people will like you and some people won't. And by far and large, is that the saying? I don't know, whatever. But by far, most of the comments, like 95%, have been positive. You always get the one that's just kind of like random or a little rude, but that's the internet. I also don't have a huge platform that would warrant all that hate. The few videos I have made on TikTok, though, the hate on there is like way greater. It's very crazy. But that's a different conversation. I also wanted to talk about this because I'm pretty sure it was Brittany Broski and Sarah Shower and their podcast, Violating Community Guidelines, that was kind of talking about this idea of up and coming influencers or creators trying to copy, the top. And I think that's natural as you find your own footing. But as Brittany said, there's only one Emma Chamberlain. Like, Emma Chamberlain's taken. She has skyrocketed. I mean, she changed the way people edit on YouTube, the way people dress, what people thought was possible for a YouTube star. She really is like an icon and someone that I look up to, even though she's way younger than me. And when I first started out, I definitely had more of that like quick cut editing style with like the funny sound effects. But even me doing that, I was like, this doesn't really feel like me. Like, I don't have that true chaotic energy, but it's working for her, so it should work for me. And it didn't, because that's not authentically who I am. I go through periods of chaos and sometimes I edit so it's like a little funnier or, a little quick cut here and there, but her whole videos were like that. But it worked for her because that's Emma. And, there were other people who kind of gained some fame in the Emma Chamberlain style of editing. When I say that, if you are online, you pretty much know what I mean. And now her editing style has completely changed. That conversation, like, really kind of stuck with me. And I was just like, you're right. Obviously, you're right. I am no Emma Chamberlain. I'm not Brittany Broski. I'm not Mr. Beast. I don't have like a niche. And I think that's also been a problem of like, you need to have a niche and you need to niche down and blah, blah. And I was always like, but my niche is just me. Like, I'm just trying to grow off of me. And another YouTuber, Katie Steckley, I will put like her actual name here because I know I'm saying her last name incorrectly, said that like you can be your own niche. It's a little bit more difficult. It has to like be a bit more strategic, but at the end of the day, that's all you have, right? All you have is yourself if you are trying to make it on a content platform. Believe me, I would love to be an aesthetic content creator where everything is just the same color and hue and vibe and feel and it's gorgeous. And sometimes I make those videos because I have like a few hours to kill and I can do it. But again, that's not me. It's very hard to keep your life as curated like that as possible, despite the name of this channel. It's very hard. And sometimes I do it, and sometimes it's more like, hey, I'm on my lunch break right now. Let's sit down and film this because my life is just a little bit hectic and I still work 9 to 5 and, there's a dog and a boyfriend that lives in this house. So it's very hard to keep things like 100% perfect 100% of the time. And that's not to say that they don't have any problems or anything, but again, it's just not me. But to be yourself online is extremely vulnerable, and even to be yourself in real life and go into situations where you meet a new person and you're just like, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, these are my boundaries, this is my sense of humor, this is what I like and how I dress, is also extremely nerve-wracking. And you have people who want to push you who are like, but like your hair would look better like this, or like, why don't you dress like this? And sometimes it's like an actual helpful criticism of, ooh, maybe I should change my hair like that, and I actually do like it, versus you need to fit the molds that I have dictated works for me, and therefore it's going to work for you. And for whatever reason, I feel the need to control this other person. I've spoken about this in like a video before where I am a shy and quiet person, and it does take me a little bit of time to like warm up to people, to just feel out your energy, because again, I'm kind of like, not everyone is deserving of my energy, and some people are just energy vampires, and it's like, I can't with you, whatever's going on, it's just not vibing. And that's okay. Like, it's just, I can be civil and I can be nice, but you don't have to enter my space. And I don't have to enter yours. Even to make new friends or, hang out with other people who you don't have like a full rapport with. It's like, can I be myself? Will you think I'm weird? Will you think I'm crazy? And I don't know, I guess it is, you just like get older and you don't have time anymore for the worry of it all. And you're like, okay, like, this is me, this is who I am. And if you don't like it, like, okay, I'm not put on this earth to make everybody love me, and I can't constantly worry about everybody else's opinion. And I think it's really that's kept me from the truly showing up and doing everything that I wanted to do or aspired to do, because I just am nervous. So if that ramble made any sense, we can talk about like the next phase. For me, showing up is obviously in two aspects of my life, both my personal life and online. So personally for me, I am working on just gaining more confidence overall of I am going to, like speak up more in work meetings and trust my thoughts and opinions, and I was hired for this job, so I do have expertise in it, and I live the social media life pretty much all day, every day. Like, I should be able to trust my own instincts and not, look to my manager or do the whole, well, maybe I was thinking we could, if it's okay, that whole like, this is my idea, but I'm gonna like really sugarcoat it so it doesn't seem like I'm totally super into the idea in case they don't like it. I think it's almost like more personally showing up in my boundaries and like saying, yes, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. And then online, it's also working on truly showing like my personality, getting on these podcasts and really telling you how it is, how I feel, what's going on, but also really fostering a community. A big thing that I wanted since I started this YouTube channel was the community tab. Ironically, I got it like the same week that they just gave it to pretty much everybody. So you used to have 500 subscribers, but recently they dropped that, and even if you start a channel, you get it from the beginning, which I always felt you should have, because from the beginning you are trying to foster a community. It's very difficult to get people to leave one platform and follow you to the other, and plus YouTube doesn't want you to do that. YouTube themselves wants people to stay on their platform as much as possible, so why it would be like, oh, follow me on my Instagram for more updates when I could easily just update you all in my community tab. It was kind of crazy. So I'm glad they came around and changed that. I'm really looking forward to just using it and like figuring out how to use it more than just like, here's a new video, or what do you think of this? And then also to start live streaming. You might have seen the question in my community tab, or if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen I like posted a few stories about it. And it's been something I have been playing with for a while. Like, it's just always felt like a hurdle, and I think it's also been here I can edit, right? I can edit out the ums, the likes, the pauses. If a sentence doesn't sound right, I can edit out. But live stream, that's it. You can say, oh, sorry, I meant to say blah, 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 but there's no editing. And so it's definitely been a little scary. Not that I think I like go off the rails in any way, shape, or form, but just not having that crutch. But I think that's the next step in the growth of my career and the growth of the community, but also on social media itself. I see a push for the live stream as people are looking for more and more authenticity. That is how I plan on showing up. Before even live streaming, I think that the first real step is to actually like physically show up on my Instagram stories, like talk to stories, maybe even try like an Instagram live or something, which for whatever reason that seems way scarier than a YouTube live. But just practicing talking in real time to a camera and like saying like, this is what I'm doing or whatever. So I think that will be probably more of the first step, and then live streaming, or I might just jump right into it, because ever since I had conversations about it, like, I'm just getting kind of excited to do this next thing. Also, thank you to anyone who's like responded to the polls or anything. They really do help me out. I don't put them up there just for funsies. Like, I'm genuinely curious, right? This is our channel, and I just want to make sure that I can provide like the best, most interesting content. Yeah, so to basically summarize, I think a lot of us get stuck in the fear of what I spoke about in episode 1, of outside fear, internal fear, both of it's scary out there. You don't want to be judged. You just want to like fit in, right? It's kind of like being in school again. But it's also super exhausting to not be yourself or constantly worrying. It's tiring. And I want to live like my most authentic life possible, and I want others to do that as well. To just kind of say like, hey world, like, this is who I am and this is what I like, and if you judge me, that's on you. That is not on me. That was something very difficult to learn in therapy because it's like, but they're judging me. It's something about me they are judging. So obviously it's on me. And the therapist is like, no, they have this preconceived notion or this bias or whatever, and that bias lives within them. And you just so happen to be, like the mirror of that. And they don't like girls with brunette hair. They don't like girls with brunette hair. You can dye your hair blonde, sure. You can dye your hair red, sure. Or you can just say, that's great, fine. Wipe your hands and move on. And I am ready to move on and just come into my own. Just finally, for once, believe in myself, gain the self-confidence, because even though I do talk to a camera every single week, I still feel just a little scared. And it's not so much my child Amelia. I think it's teenage Amelia who's the scared one, who's, still just worried and hurt. So I don't say I heal my inner child, I heal teenage Amelia. And I want to close out every podcast with one positive accomplishment that you did today, this week, this month, whatever, something you're proud of. It does not have to be huge. It can be very, very tiny. In fact, mine is very, very tiny, but I feel like we as a society do not take enough time to appreciate ourselves, because we think we should only appreciate, like, I got a promotion or I had a baby or like these super big things, but they don't happen very often. So you need to learn to appreciate the teeny tiny things and the promises you keep to yourself. And for me, I used to be a person who was up at 5 a.m., working out, getting ready, and then off to work she went. But since COVID hit, I have been a sleepy little girl and have been waking up 15 minutes before I'm supposed to log on. And as someone who is now permanently working from home, that's not really working anymore. It makes me super tired the rest of the day. Like, I had, like, grow up, get up. So I made a pact that I would wake up between 6 and 6:30 every day last week, every weekday. And I would either, like, shower and do some chores or work out and shower and then log on to work. And I did it. I was very proud of myself. This is a sort of new week. I slept in a little bit later today because I was very tired from going out twice this weekend for Halloween weekend. So you see, it wasn't big. It wasn't this huge thing. It was just something that I've been wanting to do for literally 6 months, and I finally did it. So I want you all to take a few moments to think. You can write it in the comments, you can write it down in a journal, or you can just think about it. Give yourself a pat on the back for it. Maybe even buy yourself a nice little something. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this, or listening, I hope this minicast, this conversation about showing up helped. I can only ever speak really from my experience, so it's probably why I speak in the I a lot, but I feel that if last week resonated with you, this week probably will. This notion of the fear holding you back, and to just punch fear in the face, like that quirky, corny saying goes, and just, do something that feels like authentically you and be proud of the person you are, because you can't be Emma Chamberlain, you can't be Addison Rae, you can't be Beyonce, even though we would all love to be Beyonce. You can only be you. And that is your own niche, because you are special. Okay. Enough of this positive affirmation TED Talk. Thank you again for watching. Be sure to just subscribe for more podcasts, more lifestyle videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.